You are listening to the Empowered Business Podcast. I'm your host, Monica Froese, and if you're like me, you want to grow a business you love that gives you financial freedom and fits your lifestyle. Every week, you'll get strategy and unfiltered opinions from me and other successful business owners that will inspire you to make big moves in your business. When we work together, we not only grow faster, we also amplify each other's voices. Are you ready to build your business on your terms? Let's jump in. Hello. Welcome to a special episode of the Empowered Business Podcast. Today, I am interviewing a good friend of mine in this online world. I'm interviewing Elizabeth, also known as Lizzy Goddard, and she is a multi-offer online business strategist with a twist. She's a UK-based educator for entrepreneurs and $9 offers queen. Her focus is to help business owners simplify their strategies for maximum success by breaking the traditional marketing rules and in the process, have fun. Over her 8 years in business, she's helped over 23,000 students learn how to do business the easy, fun, and profitable way. Lizzy's bold, experiment-driven approach has helped her scale her own business to over $800,000 annually, despite breaking traditional marketing rules. Her insights and expertise have earned her recognition from outlets like Forbes and CNBC, and she's a sought-after speaker at prestigious online summits. When she's not working, you can find Lizzy watching trashy TV and connecting with her community on Facebook. She lives outside Nottingham, UK with her wife and 2 young daughters. And let me tell you, this episode's really special to me because Lizzy and I have such similar businesses, but we approach it from completely different standpoints and yet have the same end result, which I just think is a testament to the fact that you can do whatever you want in your business. And you can run your business however you want and however it makes sense to you and still have amazing results. So let's dive in and meet Lizzy. Lizzy, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today. I am super excited to be talking to you.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm such a fan of you and your world and your podcast and everything.
Is this the first time we've talked? No, it's not. We've been on panels and stuff.
We were on a panel together.
But never
Also about low ticket offers, I think. That's what we were on a panel about, yes.
And that was a good panel. Okay, but this is our first time talking like one-on-one.
Yes, I think it is, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I've already introduced you to everyone. They know like your official bio. We're much more than our official bio. So yeah. I always like to start with asking people about their entrepreneurial journey and like how they got started and where you are today.
So I got started in 2013. Yes, 2013. So 10 years ago this year. And at the time, I have chronic fatigue syndrome, but at the time it was much more moderate. I had fibromyalgia. I was pretty much housebound at the time. Like I went out once a week and that was like way too much for me. And I was living on disability benefits, kind of just like vegging out post-uni because my body could not cope with life. And I had a friend at uni who was very into the lifestyle design world. And she had a newsletter and she used to email once a week things. And I was just fascinated by like the concept of a person having something where they emailed once a week. And she was talking about, all these people who were off traveling the world, so like digital nomads, that sort of thing, and had like businesses. They were making money from their laptops all over the world. And I just had this like epiphany. Hang on. If these people can make money to live from their laptops all over the world, that would mean that I could make money to live from my laptop, from my bed. I think I could do that. And it was just this huge light bulb moment. And I just went into the like world of online business. So I got slightly more the like spirituality bit of online business originally. That was sort of, and the mindsetiness, that was sort of my entry point in. But, over time I found more people who I'm still, friends with and working with today, like Leonie Dawson, Rebecca Tracy. I found Marie Forleo around that time and so on. And I eventually started a business for young people with chronic illness. So it's called the Pillow Fort. And it was for young people with chronic illness. And it had physical products that I sold, but it also had a really great Facebook community. I had a digital magazine. I started doing paid trainings. They were like $5 or something, just like teaching things. And because I was, in this world and like working on my mindset and stuff, my health got a lot better. And my lifelong plan B had always been to be a maths teacher. And they were going to give me this huge bursary to train to be a maths teacher because I had a first class degree in theology. And they were so desperate for maths teachers that they would give me all this money because they're like, you're clever, you can come teach maths. And my health was a lot better, and I signed up I got a place on a maths teacher training course. And I had about 6 months to kill before the course started. And I looked at my skill set and, I had made my own website. I understood MailChimp. I could play in Canva, like all those things. And I was, had done a lot of courses and trainings at this point. I was quite active in this world. And I'm just like, I'm going to be a VA for 6 months. I'm not going to charge much. I'm going to get some clients and I'll do it for 6 months just to occupy my brain and mind. And then I'm going to go be a maths teacher. So, I advertised, hey, I'm a VA. And because I was quite well networked and in communities and memberships and stuff, I found clients quite quickly, and I quickly got quite fully booked and raised my rates. And it was just magical to me because I was getting paid to faff around on the internet all day. And I'm like, that's literally what I was doing before, but now I'm getting paid. So this is so good. And a couple of months went past and, I'd raised my rates quite a lot. I had a good stream of clients. And I was just like, do I actually want to be a maths teacher, or do I maybe want to do this? And I had a tarot reading around that time. I said, should I be a maths teacher or should I be a VA? And it gives me chills thinking about it. She said, I think you're going to be a teacher. I just don't think it's going to be in a school. And now all I do every day is I'm teaching, but obviously it's not in a school. So eventually I emailed to say, I'm not coming to be a maths teacher. Thank you, but no thank you. And I was an accidental permanent VA. And I feel like a lot of people start as a virtual assistant, very quickly move on to a business coach or something else. Whereas I was just like, no, I'm just a virtual assistant and then I'm going to stop doing this entirely. But accidentally I became a more permanent virtual assistant. And so things were going really well with that. And then I was quite an early adopter to ConvertKit, the email marketing software. And I started, I did my own migration. I started helping clients with it. I was the very first person to have ConvertKit specific services and, set up a page about that, which dominated on Google until very recently. And I emailed ConvertKit and I said, hey, I love what you're doing. I love working with you, doing ConvertKit things. Do you have any plans for a ConvertKit certified expert program or anything like that? And they replied and no, we don't, but so great to know you're enjoying it. Maybe we can have a chat about other things. And it was less than a month later, I think, they had made me an admin in their official Facebook group, and they had invited me to become one of the first 4 ConvertKit certified experts. And I just feel like I just manifested this into existence. This thing didn't exist. And I'm like, I want it, so I'm going to ask them for it. They told me no, and then they did it anyway. And I really leaned into ConvertKit over the next few years. So I just spent hours a day, happily spent hours a day answering questions in the official Facebook group. I launched a membership around ConvertKit. I just became the queen of ConvertKit for several years. I really started grow my audience in that way. And then over time, I just had things to say that weren't specifically about ConvertKit. And also, I was still working as a VA and I still had clients, and there's a transition quite often happens when you're a VA where your clients will start asking what you think. They will start saying, well, what are your other clients doing? What are you seeing? Because you have such a unique perspective as a behind the scenes service provider. So I started telling my clients a little bit more as well. Here's what I think you should do, and generally worked very well, like intuitively, my advice. So like a combination of these things in terms of like I was giving people advice more than just doing what they asked, plus wanting to talk about other topics. I started creating, I did a couple of things. Like the first non-ConvertKit offer I did was a paid live training about affiliate marketing because I was making good money each month with affiliate marketing. And that was quite successful. So I charged $47 going up to $97. And I must have sold like 50, 60, 70 within a few months, which at the time was a decent number of people. I had a very small audience and stuff. And I just kept doing more of that. And I just kept creating particularly these paid live trainings and then, you know, selling the recordings afterwards and just talking about more and more different things. And my audience started growing beyond just ConvertKit users. And then over time, the VA work faded away, the ConvertKit focus faded away, and, you know, like the more general online business stuff came to the forefront. And particularly in kind of like 2020, my business exploded in 2020. Obviously, people were coming online. I'm like, I can help you with that. My business exploded in 2020 and I really started to find my voice. So I started sort of whispering in 2020. I don't think a signature offer business model is the only way to go. I think there's another option. And people started just really responding to me saying this. And like, well, what do you mean? This is what we've been taught by everyone for years. And I'm like, I think you can create like lots of different offers at lots of different price points and whirl people around in your world. And this just really resonated with people. And I really started to like find my unique, distinctive voice. And I've come up with a lot of like innovative ideas and experiment with things. And then I'm very quick to turn around and teach the things that work. And so that's where I'm at now. I have lots of different offers, lots of different price points, mostly courses and trainings and one-to-many stuff. That's definitely my focus. I don't really do any one-to-one or anything like that. Very much with a focus on multiple offers at multiple price points, not signature offer, not ascension model, but more like a swirly ecosystem of offers and encouraging people to have fun and experiment and play in their business. That's where I'm at now. So that's where I came from.
Something very interesting occurred to me because I had mentioned before we start recording that you describe things. We do things very similarly, yet different, but kind of arrive at the same outcome. But you describe things so uniquely. And like when you were saying your ecosystem was swirly. So for me, I have my master's in business. So I was like, and I worked in corporate for 11 years. So I am very like corporate trained. So for me, when I talk about that, I'm like, the value of a repeat customer. That's what you're talking about. And I'm like, let's talk about churn rates and things that like we used to talk about in corporate. Haley actually sent me a reel recently. And she's like, uh-oh. And it was basically like this guy mocking all this corporate jargon. And she's like, I think this might be you. And it was scary. And like all the things that like low hanging fruit and the 80-20 rule and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am that person.
But different people resonate with that. Like, yeah, that has worked. Like that works for a lot of people. And there are people, like we have a lot of overlap in our audiences. Yes. But there's people who prefer the like methodical, systematic approach to deciding what to do next. And there are people who feel maybe constricted by that or whatever, and they prefer my sort of message, which is just like, do what feels fun, do it, try it, see what happens.
And I love it because it's so interesting because I am completely methodical. Like my decisions are made based on data. I have spreadsheets galore. People know this about me. And then because I follow along what you do and like you call it the shower gods. You have this shower god idea. And when you have a shower god idea, we're not talking about small ideas, which is going to lead, because one of these big ideas is what we're going to be talking about, which is an event called Low Ticket Live. And when you come out with the shower god ideas, every time in Slack, I say to Haley, she stresses me out. Not in terms of like, what you're going to do is great, but like, I cannot execute on big things like that at the drop of a hat. And you're just like, yeah, I'm really take on this huge, massive thing. No biggie, no big deal. And I'm like,
you are not the first person to say that to me. The way you do it completely like stresses me out. It's it just feels the opposite. Like, I think the signature offer, like business model, the ascension ladder, all of it, it works. It's great for a great number of people. But like, if I were to try to do that, it literally feels like my soul is dying. Like, I cannot do it. It is not who I am. But I've also had other interviews with other people, and I'll just sort of say, so I did this launch, and then the next day I set up the evergreen funnel, and she's like, wait, what? And I'm just like, yeah, I just did that. And people, I think it's just, I find it so interesting how different things feel safe and comfortable to different people, because and the opposite things feel safe and comfortable and secure and reassuring. So to me, kind of like allowing myself to do whatever I want and trusting that that's going to work feels safe and comfortable. Whereas to someone like you, following the data feels safe and comfortable and gives you the results you want. And the way I do it gives me the results I want. We both get the same results. It's just fascinating.
Well, I think this is going to help people listening, because I have a lot of like you do, like a lot of like loyal people who stick around and listen to every episode. And we've just done like about 12 episodes all in digital product shops. Okay. So here's the interesting thing. As I'm listening to you, I'm like, okay, I like to be in control of everything. The shower gods, if they come to me, it's happening maybe next year, because I have a plan on my wall over here, Lizzy. And like, there's already a launch plan in place, and we're not moving it. So like, I need a controlled environment. I need solid data to read. So the whole thing I talk about with digital product shops is I'm like you, multi-passionate, so many things that I know that I want to talk about. But then I was stressed out by having a million different ways people could go to find my stuff and buy my stuff. So I'm like, a shop solved all my problem, gave this central call to action. And the added benefit is, here's all my data. It's nice and packaged, and I can read it, and I can predict things and be in control. And so that makes sense to me, and it makes sense for how I teach. Your swirly world where you get people to buy from you. You're just like, we make sales every day. That's something you talk about. I make sales every day. But we swirl our people different. So how do you swirl your people? How do you get them to buy all these things when they're not in the central location that I like?
So I have lots of different strategies, things over the years that I've like come up with and experimented with. And looking back, I can see that they're like the framework of this system. So I have an everything page, I call it an everything page, where it lists in order all my freebies and all my paid offers, and they can go and look. So that's kind of like the central hub of here is everything that's going on. I have a client student only group. So I don't have a free Facebook group. I don't have Facebook groups for most of my offers. I have one group for anyone who has ever bought anything from me, worked with me, got my thing in a free bundle or whatever. They get to come into that group. And that is, like people like showing up on different social media. For me, I love showing up in that Facebook group. Like, it's 5 and a bit years old now. And I've shown up in there just wittering away like random thoughts near daily for over 5 years. And people love that group. And, when I launch something new and I'll tease about it in there and talk about it and get everyone involved. So when I launch something new, I've got a place where all my super fans already are, and they can all like hype each other up and swirl each other around as well. I have Lizzy credit quite a lot in my business, which is basically like gift certificates, gift codes so you can get like $10 Lizzy credit, or if you buy something through my affiliate links, you'll get, $250 Lizzy credit, which you can spend on nearly anything I sell for like 6 months or whatever. So that's another way that when people when you got a gift certificate for somewhere, you're so much more likely to pay attention to the emails from that shop, what they're doing. So that kind of like keeps pulling people back in. And I just have all these, I have a very long evergreen nurture sequence which has lots of links to my offers and my freebies. So just like I've just created all these ways wherever you come into my ecosystem, I will like pull you in further and then keep pulling you back in and pulling you around and swirling them around.
Yours kind of like, and it kind of makes a lot of sense. So I need to be in control. You need kind of like the freedom to be unique and stuff. So it makes sense. Like I have all these entry points and I swirl them around and it just works. Whereas me, as I'm like, let's control where they come, how they come, and then they're going to go to this one place. But I have to say, I had to give a plug for your training on Lizzy credit because it inspired something that has changed my business. And I have to show you how to print it. Mine's Monica Money.
Oh my God, I love that.
And it's like yours is like animated as well. And I always, so we have a QR code. I send these all the time out to like our top customers in the shop.
That's amazing.
Store credit, we treat it a little, so Lizzy credit and Monica Money, they operate a little differently just because of our systems, right? Yes. Because I have a shop and you don't. But the concept of how we got to the Monica Money, okay, so like I talk in terms of like cash flow and keeping money in the business and all this stuff. Holy cannoli, did this change so much about how we can keep customers happy, have them coming back. So you're like, I just need them coming back into my world to swirl them. I'm like, well, I want you going back to my shop because if I get you to my shop, I can get you to buy more things. And it's just like, but this was all inspired by you. We ordered,
amazing.
We made them in Canva. We ordered them from Canva. And so I have like, I run a top customer report and I will send handwritten notes to like our top customers.
I love that.
The Monica Money, I got the affiliate offer thing from you too, where someone buys my affiliate link, I give them Monica Money so on our website. So that training, unbeknownst to me when I took it, like I took, and I like, I listened to it on audio because me and you are both big on giving audio access. It's sees to our stuff, which by the way, I think is a game changer, which
I agree.
I consume so much more. And I remember you know how like sometimes you hear something and you can remember where you were,
Yes, I'm exactly the same.
I remember the walk I was on when I listened to Lizzy credit. And it was like, at the time, I was not quite sure what I was going to do with it. It was like, I knew that this was like something that was going to be a thing. And it was like probably a year or two later when the shop became a thing, that Monica Money became a thing. And I was like, this is it.
So many, the stories I've had. So Credit Your Business. It's a $9 course. I announced it was going to be a $9 course and it's a pretty decent course now. Like it's everything you need to know about. This is another thing, like approach I have, like and I think you're similar with this. I only have one offer per topic. So I think you're fairly similar. Like if you want to learn this thing, this is the only offer. It's not like, do you want the little version, the big version, the supported version, like all the different versions. It's like, if you want to learn this thing, here's the thing. And I created this as a $9 offer. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, I could charge $497 for that course. The results people get from implementing it and also having permission to like implement it in their own unique ways, because the things my students have done with that are amazing. But the commitment to make it $9 strategically in my business has like thousands of people have bought that course because there's not another course out there on it. And it's kind of total aside, but you're like, the quote, charge your worth and then add tax. And I'm sure you're not a fan of that quote either. But I sort of like to play with that idea in terms of, because I know my worth, because I'm a human being and I have infinite worth, because I know my worth, I can charge whatever I want. And that includes charging really low for something I could charge much higher for. And I think that almost like disruption in people's brain when they buy a low ticket thing from me and they're like, oh, this is really good. This is not fluff. This is not trying to sell me something else. Like Lizzy said, she was going to teach me how to set up my credit system. And that's what she taught for $9. And they come back for more. So like the number of people who have bought offers like that and gone on to buy from me again and again and again, like it's been so good. And I think there's so much, low quality, low ticket stuff out there. But when it's what you said it was going to be without the intention of them buying something else, and you actually deliver the complete solution in a low ticket price point, people love it. And then you've got a super fan and they come back for more and more, which is what the strategy was meant to be all along. But some people along the way started making low quality, low ticket offers.
Don't even get me started on the garbage that I bought out there. And then, and then they wonder why, like they end up being one-hit wonders and they don't actually have a business. It's kind of like the whole Facebook thing where like you could have one funnel that produced really well and then Facebook ads imploding. You didn't have a business anymore because you didn't know anything.
Yeah.
So I find this, I'm going to guess you run into this a lot because we talk to lots of business owners on a daily basis and a lot of them come for our feedback. People get insanely hung up on price.
They do.
Holy cow. It is like, and I find it so interesting. Now, business speak here. A digital product to me is an asset in my business. It's also something you put effort into once and you can sell infinite. And unless there's like some sort of level of support you're providing, obviously, but if you're selling a $9, like when I do a workshop once and I can sell that workshop 1,000,000 times, 10 times, it doesn't matter. And it costs me, aside from processing fees when the order goes through, really, and some customer service that can happen on the back end with access issues and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I always find it fascinating when I have, and it happens all the time, students will come and be like, I created this thing. They pour so much into it. And they're like, there's no way I could charge less than X dollar amount. And I'm like, well, do you want it to sell? Yeah. Or do you want to be putting and listen, you can do whichever you want because it's a great thing about being in business. You get to make up your own mind. But it's like their objectives are always out of line with what they think they should charge. Like what they're telling me is, I want to make X amount of money. The market's telling them they're not going to pay what they think that the thing's worth and they're unwilling to budge on the price. And it's like, but why? Like to me.
So often they have such short-term thinking. They're thinking like, I put all this effort in. If I sell it at this price and I get this many people, I'll make this much money. Is that worth it to me? Yes or no? And I'm like, you can sell this for years and years and years. Why are you not calculating that into the future money? Like I did a paid live training in January 2020 and I charged $97 in advance and then it went up to $197 and I had like 42 people and I'm like, that's very nice. To date, that course has made me well over $100,000. It's now a $997 course. There's the same training in a course format. And I'm just like, but if I'd have just been like, no, this is really good stuff. Like I need to charge $497 from the get-go. And then, like 5 people buy it. And I'm like, oh, this is rubbish. I'm never going to sell it again. Like, no, like the long term, don't create your offers for like the first launch. Like, that's just the start.
Yes.
The potential is in everything that an offer can become. And some offers don't go the distance. Like some offers don't ever really take off, but some of them really, really do. And if you priced it too high to start, my advice is always, I'm sure you're fairly similar. Like, well, mine's got my twist on it, but it's like, price as low as you can without feeling resentful that like, how dare people get this for this price? This is not fair that they're getting it. So like I charge as low as you can without feeling resentful, but your price can go up as the offer grows in all the different ways.
So the interesting part about having a shop for me is that I almost don't even have a resentful price for any product anymore because of all the things that happen in the shop that allow average order value is what I care about. So my mind really shifted to that. That's a lot of what I teach in the shop because at the end of the day, it really is how many things can I get you to add to your cart for that final value. So I talk about how like when we do flash sales, if I'm having you click on a $9 link, it manifests into a $300 order. I'm actually looking at, and it's because people always, it's the short term thing. It's like, oh my gosh, you want me to mark that down to $9? I'm like, well, do you want the click into your shop? Because once you get the click into your shop, all the other things that you're supposed to be doing happen. And what I found with low ticket, and I think we agree, we're probably both chronic over deliverers on almost everything that we do. And so the thing that ends up happening is when you give access to your brain and what you do at such a ridiculous price point, you create those super fans, like you've said, that just, they're like, wow, if she will give me this at that price. I can only imagine if she's charging, like right now, my top tier is a $2,000 course. And so many people will say, wow, like I did a quick win workshop on this a year ago before I even thought it was going to be a signature offer. And the testimonials are consistent with, they'll come in and say, wow, when I took your quick win workshop, which is like 1/100th of what is in the main program, it changed so much about my thinking. Yeah. I got such great results that when you offered the bigger program for $2,000, they were like, how could I not want that? Because like you gave me results with a $47 product. Some people even got it for less than that because of flash sales, you know? So
yeah. But it's also like what you say about over delivering. We both over deliver, but I'm pretty sure neither of us stuff additional stuff. We are both so focused on this is the goal of this offer. I will get you there as quickly and as painlessly as I possibly can. I'm sure neither of us, I mean, I've got your offers, some of them. Neither of us have fluff.
No.
And I think so many people, there was a trend, I think, with lower priced offers where they had just so much stuff in them. And I'm like, if you sell a lower priced offer and someone buys it and they can't get through it and they can't get the result, they are never going to buy from you again. Like, I don't know when so much stuff became a selling feature. I'm like, the shorter the offer is to get to the result, that's more of a selling feature. And people haven't really cottoned on to this yet.
Well, so Facebook ads, I think, are what did that. Because Facebook, you're hitting all these cold people. Like the strategy.
Yes, that's true. The cold traffic is what did it.
And so it was like, let me give you more. And it's like, like there was that thing that more means valuable. And I'm going to give you all of this, but for a $27 price point. And it's like the same thing. Like when people come in and say to me, I've even had people say, well, how many videos are in there? I'm like, okay.
Oh, I know. And then they ask, how do I price it based on? I've got a course with this many videos. What's the price point? I'm like, that's not how we do pricing.
How much you charge per page in your ebook? I'm like, I could care less if you order a 40-page ebook or a 100-page ebook. I care about the end result that I'm going to get and how you're going to get me there. I mean, I will pay, someone give me a 14-page ebook that could solve a huge issue in my life. I would pay $umpteen for that. I don't care how long it is, as long as it gets me the result. I think that's what we like. A lot of people lose sight on is that your product's actually supposed to give someone a result.
Yes.
And that's the thing that matters. Not like the mechanism doesn't matter. You create it with the mechanism that gets them that result that they need, why they're buying the product.
You create offers for your customers, not for you creating an offer. Like, I feel like I agree. People get very twisted about these things.
Okay. So one of the things with you and me too, because I think we're very similar in this regard, which is so weird. We really are very similar, just different angles, but the low ticket thing. So we've been in online business long enough to know that there's a lot of cyclical things that go on. So like when Facebook ads were real cranky, it was all about what everyone called the slow funnel, the self-liquidating offer. And that's, of course, low ticket, selling volume. And then it was always like how much you're spending, how much you're getting out on the Facebook ad machine. And then there was like a rebellion against that. And then it was just like, everything's high ticket and signature offer and like, don't charge your worth, right? And
yeah.
And then now we're kind of seeing a swing back to, I feel like, low ticket.
Yeah.
But I feel like low ticket live, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like and now I want to talk about the event that's going to be low ticket live, is not just meant to tell people sell low ticket. It's meant for them to understand this business ecosystem that you're talking about.
I think so. So like I posted in my client student only group earlier this year that I'm calling it 2023 as the year of low ticket being used in new and innovative ways. And everyone immediately asked me, what new and innovative ways? And I'm like, well, that is going to decide who is successful this year and who is not. So I'm not going to tell you the answer to that. And then it was probably like a month later, the shower gods very, very clearly told me, do an event called Low Ticket Live. It's going to be like a summit and it's going to have all these people talking about low ticket stuff in new and innovative ways. And this was very inconvenient in my timeline, but like it was such a clear, like now it's happening now. It's the next thing you are doing. And I'm just like, okay, let's like look at my calendar and clear it. And like, oh my God, I'm going to have to do it here. I'm going to have to open applications tomorrow, maybe. So then I'm like, that's just how I roll. And that is what we did. But There are low ticket live people at low ticket live, and the speakers fall into two categories mostly. And neither of the categories are, here is how you create your offer. Like, there is an assumption for attendees of low ticket live that you largely know how to create a course, a training, a digital product sort of thing. But the two categories they fall into is, one, the type of low ticket offer they're creating, and people who are being quite like unique and innovative, and they're charging a low amount of money, and the threshold I've set is about 100. They're charging less than $100 for something that I found interesting. So we've got Evelyn Weiss talking about mini memberships, and they're blowing up at the moment.
I don't even know what that means, so I want to hear more.
Yeah, mini memberships, like $9 a month memberships.
Okay.
I mean, I had one years ago, but I was such a trendsetter, clearly. But they're really, but strategically, like Evelyn teaches it super strategically as part of your bigger business. We've got someone talking about low priced, one-to-one Voxer chats, which you would consider completely unscalable, but she's doing it in such an effective way in consideration of the rest of her ecosystem. So all sorts of different, so someone who's selling KDP, one specific KDP journal that is bringing in leads into their other business, into their main business. So all sorts of different people doing a type of low ticket offer in an interesting way. Right. And then there's a second category of speaker that are talking about basically how to sell more of your low ticket offers, and how to sell more of your low ticket offers in conjunction with the rest of your business. So your talk is very much in this category around digital products. There's people talking about, optimizing the sales page, having shorter sales pages. There's just all sorts of using testimonials to sell more low ticket offers. So the first group is to inspire people to experiment and play. That is my whole thing. And then the second group is let's take what you've got and sell more of it, and sell more of it strategically in your broader business.
So of course I fall into the second group, because I'm the first side is well, does that fit my calendar? The second side is, that's something I can be in control of.
Yeah.
Okay. But I envision that low ticket live is also going to give people lots of shiny objects going out there too, because it seems like it's good. Just the few things you already said, I'm sounds interesting. Oh, that sounds interesting. In theory, I want to do all the things like you do, but then in practice, I can't.
Yeah.
So that's going to be it. So when is the low ticket live happening?
It is the 10th to the 13th of July.
And how many people do you think you're going to get to join? What is your goal?
On the sponsor page, I said I'm hoping for somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 plus. That is my goal. But I've been, I'm investing because I'm a genius and I get people to sponsor my events these days.
Like me. Like
Monica.
The first one signing, I'm I want that spot, please. Thank you.
Because I'm a genius and I get people to sponsor big collaborative events I do these days, I'm able to invest quite heavily in other areas. So I've invested in someone to do PR, and I'm going to invest in Facebook ads and all the things to go big or go home with these events. I feel like I've got a reputation for doing good big events at this point. So go big or go home.
I think you're going to blow that out of the water. Honestly, I really do. So let me just, this could spark something for some people. I sponsor your events. One, because I like you, but honestly, we're in business. So I wouldn't just sponsor your event because I like you, although I do. Also, you have an audience buyers. You attract buyers, and you attract buyers who would also be interested in my stuff. So it is a very logical thing. And just anyone listening, take that away. Where can you spend, for me, I'm taking what used to go into Facebook ads and I'm spending it on things like this. So it's just advertising dollars I would have spent in my business that I'm moving over in a more, and right now in this market, a more effective way. But one of the things I'm very interested in is in the grand scheme of your business. So for a couple of years now, you run Lizzy's Christmas Party, which is a free bundle. Also, there's a paid bundle. And it exploded in 2022. I also sponsored that. And it was great. We were just looking at what the leads, because we divide out when we get leads from sponsorships, people who are existing on our list and new. and we were following what new people came from Lizzy's Christmas party.
Every link you give me comes with a UTM, and I'm just like, that's so Monica.
Yeah, it comes. Let me just tell you that sponsorship has made us tens of thousands of dollars. We're 6 months up. It is, I mean, well worth the investment. And so, but you always said with Lizzy's Christmas party, and this is what I'm really curious about, that it was kind of like a give back to your community, a way for you to highlight the people in your community, gather them up in this big event, let them have, like really like lead gen. Like you were trying to create this lead gen thing for as a thank you. That's where it was founded, because I listened to like your debrief. What is the point of Low Ticket Live in your business? Like, what do you hope to get out of it for your business?
So in September last year, I did a presentation for a summit on small but mighty $9 offers. And I repurposed that into a course, a $9 course. I love a meta moment. I have a tripwire training on tripwires. Like I created a $9 offer on small but mighty $9 offers. And it just like blew up. Thousands of people have bought this, have got this, have used this, have had huge success with it. You need to make one sale of your offer and you've made the money back. Like the ROI is bananas. And what happens, like it's happened a few times in my business, but like there will be a wave and I'm just like, I'm just going to ride this wave. I'm just going to ride this wave and see where it goes. And this year I've really lent into like $9 offers particularly, but low ticket offers in general. And then it was part of my prediction. And like, I love how my audience just play. So I made a prediction. 2023 is going to be the year of low ticket offers. And then I create a whole event to make that prediction come true. And everyone just plays along with me. And I'm like, you guys are the best.
It is true.
And then it's also the shower gods. The shower gods told me to do it. And I learned a long time ago that if the shower gods tell me to do something, I do it. I don't question it. The less sense it makes, probably the better it's going to be. The more inconvenient it is, the better it's probably going to be. So I think it's going to be good for my business in terms of hopefully it grows my audience. It grows my audience with people who are interested in low ticket, which is something I have a lot of offers related to. And I also like doing these larger events for visibility, credibility. Like I like to put on events that people think like that was cool. There were some different things there. Like Lizzy's doing good stuff in the online business world. It's not a big strategic thing. I'm just like, yeah, that sounds fun. And the shadow gods told me. So here we go.
And it's so funny because like, I always need to know what the outcome's going to be. Control. Yeah. Right? So when like Haley one year, and actually I still have, I just ran into them in my bathroom. My daughter keeps stealing them, but she got me shower notes. Cause I'm just like, especially when you have little kids, like my time to think is in the shower.
Yes.
Like, let's be real. Time. That's when nobody's interrupting me. And so she got me these like waterproof,
I love that.
shower notes. And then my daughters kept stealing them because she's like, I would always go into Slack. She actually gave me a brain dump channel because I was overwhelming with my shower ideas. But then I look at my shower ideas where you embrace yours and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm stressed out. I need to know that doesn't fit in. I need to know how that's going to work out. And so I have I'm going to ask a very selfish question because it's my podcast and I'm just very curious. I'm going to ask it. Me and you were in Mariah Caus's high ticket program together. Yes, and you did. And it's funny because I think we're very similar again in ways where we join programs to take certain things we want from it. Not necessarily exactly how they're teaching it. She is when she was teaching that as her primary thing, it was very much like your business is high ticket. Me and you went into that not to make our business high ticket. It was to glean the strategies. Maybe for you, you ended up launching like I'm high ticket. Yeah. And I would say it was not as like some of those high tickets were like 23.
No, it wasn't.
It was like $5
grand a month program.
And it's called The Playground. And you've had it since what, 2020? Am I correct?
Yes. So it will be coming up to 3 years, Profitable Playground. Yeah.
And I am so curious about this. I cannot help myself. So watching how you do things. So I'm so fascinated about how other people run their business. You always can learn. And I really encourage people, like, you don't have to do it like me. You don't have to do it like Lizzy. Maybe you have a combination of both of us. But I love watching how you like do things. And I admire how you have the shower guys and you execute. So the playground thing is very interesting because you call them your playgrounders and they are like your top tier. Like these people are your fans and they are singing your praises. And then you do special things for them or you highlight them in your emails or when they're in Lizzy's goodie bag, they were labeled as playgrounders and they're top, like you bring them to the top of the page. So now you decided to just close the program.
Yes.
And it kind of came, I think you even said it really came out of
nowhere. Yeah, I didn't know until I knew. And then I'm like, oh, we're doing that now. Okay.
Yeah. So, but like, why? Like Haley and I were both like totally blown away when you announced it. We were like, why would you close the thing that has her people that love her and praise her? And
I was sorting out renewals. So I was just doing some admin for it. And I knew. I just knew the time has come to wrap it up. Like, it's not that I was running out of clients. It's not that it doesn't sell. It's not that I don't enjoy it. Like, none of those things. I just knew. And there comes an element of the knowing comes first, and then the logicalness can come after. So I can back up that decision with various logical reasons. But it was just the knowing. And it's exactly the same as when the shower gods tell me something. I do it. Like, when the knowing comes, I don't resist the things that I feel and I know and just come to me. Like, I don't resist that. So I can't really tell you why, but I can say that, like, I have confidence in myself and in future Lizzy that this will be the right decision and something else will come that can only come when I make the decision to close Playground. And because, that's been my big, I don't call it a signature program. I call it my extravaganza program. It's kind of like sits on top of my ecosystem of offers because they get everything and all of that. And there will be other things and there will be other ways. And I just knew. And yes. I'm not worried about the logical implications of that. And I know that sounds ridiculous.
But okay, so just to compare, when I knew the writing was on the wall that I had to get away from Pinterest and having Pinterest advertising course being like my main thing. But my control freak natureness, we built a house and, we had just closed on it. And I was just like, it was always like, I can't, we have all these responses. This is my top earner in the business. I felt so trapped by it and so miserable. One day my daughter came home from school and I was in our bedroom. So my work time is very sacred to me because, and it's even different how we work. You kind of you work at all different times. I'm like, I work these hours. That's I have to be in control, right? Yep. And she came home from school and she was so used to work time is work time. I was watching Outlander in the dark in my bed. And she thought I was deathly ill. She was a stomach bug? What is going on? And I was like, no. And she was real creeped out by what the hell was going on. It took me 4 solid months of basic depression before I actually came to terms with I was shutting it down. Now, once I made up my mind, it was nothing was holding me back. And it went real fast and it was what it was. But I agonize so much longer. And so I also, even though by the time I did it, I had all the logical reasons. I had all the messaging ironed out. And so there's some benefits to that, obviously, to have all of that ironed out before I make the announcement. But also, I admire the fact that you're just I just know. And you just went.
I did sleep on it.
You gave it one night.
I gave it one night. I was I was ready to post. And Emma was like, you can post now, but maybe you want to sleep on it. I'm like, because this is a really big one, I'm closing my main program after 3 years. I will sleep on this and check I want to do it in the morning still. But then I just post in the morning. But normally, I think it's just, for me, I have such a highly tuned intuition. I'm not particularly woo or spiritual, but I just, it's a deep, deep trust in myself and trust in my current self and confidence in my future self. And those together, I truly feel I can never make the wrong decision because whatever path or decision I make is the right one because future Lizzy will rise to that decision current Lizzy is making. And it just means that everything's going to be okay in like a really wanky way, but it's just how I feel.
Well, I can only make that kind of, then you would resonate probably. My saying is I don't do failure. I have it on my mug.
Yes,
wear my shirt all the time. And I guess we approach it a little bit different, how we arrive there. But at the end of the day, I always say, I can always know how to make money online. Like
Exactly.
I know my ability to make money online, whether it's in this business or I could spin up another one. I have notebooks of ideas of.
It's like when you're sat somewhere, just having a nice day out and just like, yeah, but if they did this and then they did that, they'd make so much more money. Or like, if they could monetize that, and you just can't turn it off. You can't turn it off when you can see ways to make money.
I have a nerdy side of me that goes to some conventions that people would not even guess that I would be.
Yeah.
They just, it's my, and I save it for my few friends, but me and her, she's in advertising and, I run my own business. So she works in the corporate environment. I don't. We sit at those events and we are constantly like, why do they do it? Like we could make them so much more money. And then we're constantly like, they should hire us. I mean, we would make them millions of dollars. Like you can't turn it off.
And then you created a whole agency in your head that you're going to, like, not only should they hire you, but like you will create a whole business, an agency that does this just on the side. Like I went to DragCon and I 100% like all of how their stalls were set up and their merch. And I'm like, where are the mailing lists? And then like I'll look at their Instagram and I'm just like, I need like an agency that like sort out the marketing for drag queens. And just I live in a parallel universe for like a couple of hours and then I come back and be like, oh yeah, this business, I remember this one.
Our car wash here upsells the crap out of everything. Yep. I mean, like I was waiting for them to offer me like a meatball sub at the end of their. So I said to the girl the one time we're going through it because my daughters, of course, love the car wash, and so we go through it and it's upsell. I'm here for a basic car wash, and at the end of it, literally, I mean, are you selling me a kit too?
Yes.
I said to the girl, I go, your upsells, they're impressive, and she looked at me and she goes, by what? I go, your upsell. 20 things that you just offered me. I'm like, it's called a sales funnel. That's basically what you're doing just in person. And she was like, so like confused. And she was like, I feel like you're talking a different language. I'm like, probably, but really it's the world. Even I was talking to someone relating to them on, I was like, church is a big sales funnel, right? Because they have to get you through the door. It's like lead gen to get more people in the congregation. And they're like, really? Do you see everything? Like everything's a sales funnel, even church. And then they want your money from tithing. Yeah. It's like, it's a gigantic sales funnel. So that's funny. That's really, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Because sometimes I really weird when I'm out there and I'm just like critiquing everything and like, you could do that.
Just how our brains work. Like when you can see it, you can't unsee it. But it does mean that because we will never be able to unsee it, we will always be fine financially, I'm sure.
This is true. And every time I just got a huge tax bill, I don't know, I cringed when I said, I'm like, but you're just going to make that money back. It's fine. Like you don't have to. Okay. So I feel like circling back to Low Ticket Live, I know that there's going to be so many ideas that come out of Low Ticket Live. I'm excited to watch. And I will tell you, I rarely watch summits, like rarely, but I know that like your aggregation of the people who are speaking are going to be amazing. And the ideas are just they sound so fresh, which is like.
Yes, that was a really big criteria. So I had well over 200 applications and I really very particular and precisely what I was looking for. And if like there were 2 applications on the same thing, it's not like unique enough or like specific enough or like, yeah.
So how do people sign up?
So they go to your affiliate link for it and sign up. So
and I have that actually, and we'll link to it. But you just gave it to me and I wrote it down.
It's lowticketlive.com/Monica.
Yes, it is.
And tickets are free. You get 24 hours access to each, including on a podcast feed this time. So on the free ticket, you will get 24 hours on a podcast feed. And then you can buy a regular play pass or an ultimate play pass, and they get you lots more goodies. And one thing I'm really excited about, the week after Low Ticket Live, if you buy the ultimate play pass, you also get $100 Lizzy credit in the ultimate play pass to experiment with that fun thing. But the week after Low Ticket Live, I am doing what I call a get it done week of my small but mighty $9 offer course. So you can, if you buy the ultimate play pass, you get to come into a pop-up group. You get a training on coming up with like the perfect $9 offer. and you create it in the week with the support of everyone in there. And then at the end of the week, if you do it, I will promote it to my full list, which is currently about 30,000. I'm hoping a week after Low Ticket Live, it is bigger than that. And I've done these Get It Done weeks before. I do them often in my business, and people hate them, but they love them because they get it done. So I just did one in my new program. Over 100 people did it. And they're all telling me, like, I haven't promoted it to my list yet, but I've had sales from you promoting it to yours. So it's just a really good opportunity to put into practice some of the things that you've just learned. Like, you can go on and do all the things, but just like one specific low ticket offer the week after Low Ticket Live, and just like, I will promote it, and it's just going to be really good fun, and you can get it done.
That is awesome. And I feel like I want to get my act together to have something in that. And now I'm thinking, oh boy, because here's my brain.
Yeah.
What does my calendar look like? I need to know.
Clear the week. You want to do it.
Okay. So now if people want to just connect with you outside of the event, how can they find you?
So I'm trying to be better on Instagram, which is ElizabethGoddard_UK. And also if you go to elizabethgoddard.co.uk/pod, POD, there will be some relevant current-ish links there about what I'm up to.
Awesome. Well, then we'll make sure we link to all that. Thank you for sharing all of your wonderfulness with us. It was a really good, I just thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, and I hope everyone
Thank you so much for having me. I love talking to you too.
Of course.
I hope you just enjoyed that conversation with Lizzy as much as I did. And I would love to invite you to join us over at Low Ticket Live, where you're going to get inspired to create your next high-value, low-ticket offer with creative ideas from the top innovative brains in the online business world. Myself included, I'm super excited to be having a chat all about digital product shops, of course, but I am super excited to hear all of these interesting and creative strategies from the other speakers that are joining me. It is happening the week of July 10th, 2023, over the course of 4 days, and there are 28 amazing speakers. I hope you'll join us. You can head on over to lowticketlive.com/Monica to get your free ticket today. I'll see you back here shortly with another episode.